and welcome to Kings Point Spotlight. I'm Lieutenant Tyrone Broxton, and today I have the pleasure of being joined at the Athletic Hall of Fame in O'Hara Hall with Captain Paul Brown. Captain Brown is a 1977 graduate of the United States Merchant Marine Academy, where he majored in marine transportation. Captain Brown, thanks so much for being here with us today on Kings Point Spotlight.
Well, happy to be here, and thanks for having me.
As I always like to do with my guests, shout out your high school, your hometown, but you have multiple hometowns, so yeah. Let everybody know where you're from.
Well, I originally born in L.A., moved from L.A. to Austin, Texas when I was 2 years old. My dad's in the Air Force, so I'm an Air Force brat, and I consider Austin, Texas home, but I went to high school in Chofu High School in Tokyo, Japan. Well, my dad was stationed there from 67 to 72. Okay. So whenever we have class reunions, we go to Hawaii or California or Vegas.
All right. Good spot to be.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, they still refer to the Merchant Marine Academy as America's best kept secret. The word has gotten out, and it's not as much as a secret as it was back in the day. But I imagine in 1971, it was a pretty big secret. So how did you learn about the academy?
Well, the way that I learned about the academy is that I was recruited for football with West Point, and to get my SAT scores up, I was going to West Point Prep School. Well, there was another running back there, and West Point was going to, concentrate on him, so they said that Kings Point was looking for a running back, and that George Paterno was the head coach, and would I like to go take a visit? And I said, Kings Point, I never heard of it. Mm-hmm. So I said, well, sure, I'd like to go take a visit. So I came to the academy, and I fell in love with George first sight. I mean, he's a very personable guy, great coach, and so God works in mysterious ways, and that's how I got to Kings Point. Just kind of on the fluke, and it's the best thing that happened to me.
Wonderful. Yeah. Now, what made you make the leap of faith, as you were just talking about, in reference to saying, this is where I want to come? Was it primarily just George? What did you learn some things about the school that made, in addition to just football?
Yeah, well, like I say, Kings Point is unique, and when they told me about the curriculum, when I came here, we had 3 years of academics and 1 year at sea. So your freshman year, you went to school the whole year. Your sophomore year, you went half the year of academics and half at sea. Same, you did that your junior year as well. And then your senior year, you stayed, prepped for your license exam. And I thought that was unique. And going to sea that year was the best time of my life. I'll tell you, I went all over the world. Just both coasts of South America, Europe, and it was it's like on-the-job training as well. Yes. And I learned a lot, and a great experience. To this day, the greatest experience I've ever had.
Now, I consider your job a harbor pilot. I say it to everybody who I meet, the Super Bowl job of the maritime industry, in my humble opinion. I'm sure you probably think the same thing, being that you do it. But prior to your arrival to the academy, did you have any prior sea going experience and or sailing experience?
No, I didn't. Never thought about going to sea at all, until I got to Kings Point. And then, I can tell you, I fell in love with the sea after coming here. And my wife will tell you now to this day, I just love the sea. And actually, I think she'd like me to go back to sea. But no, just coming here, just opened that horizon, So, and the opportunities there that, a lot of people don't know of. And it's like, it really was. And to this day, still is the best kept secret that they have, the federal academies. Yeah,
we're getting the word out there. Yeah. Now, you obviously gained some substantial sea experience during sea year. You alluded to it a few moments ago, but talk specifically. Where exactly did you go throughout the course of that voyage?
Oh, well, I went to Puerto Rico, like I said, both coasts of South America, Brazil, Colombia, Venezuela, Chile, Peru, and then Panama, okay. And also Europe, Great Britain, France, Germany, and see Japan, Philippines, and Korea, and see Taiwan.
Okay.
So, yeah, so
not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad at all. So, and how old were you when you were on that voyage?
Oh, let's see. Now, we're talking back 1970. You really want to know how old I am? So, see, I was 17. Let me see, 18, 19, and 20. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Now, how does one become a harbor pilot?
Well, now different ports have different regulations on becoming a pilot. Now, in Houston, what we do is, the way we do it there is that we have two groups. We try to keep it 50-50. Blue water, which is deep sea, on ships and offshore drilling and stuff like that. And then you have the brown water, which are the harbor tugs and the push boat, like Kirby and Buffalo Marine.
Okay.
And we keep that mix, and I'm considered the blue water guy since I sailed and everything. So we have a minimum of 6 years at sea, and you have a minimum of a third mate's license. So Houston is more liberal than a lot of other ports, and it's a great opportunity to become a pilot there. And you get voted in. You have a 3-year apprenticeship, but you have to go to sea. You have to have some type of experience on the water to become eligible to be a pilot. Okay. Yeah. So, like I said, that's Houston.
Okay. Now, upon graduation, what was your career path to go on into becoming a pilot? What did you have to do? Obviously, you had to have some sea time. So.
Right. I went to work for a company called Setco, offshore drilling, and when I started in the North Sea, working out of Aberdeen, Scotland, and worked out of Stavanger, worked out of Ireland and Shannon, and also out of Le Havre, France, and also I towed a rig down to Africa, Dakar, Senegal, and that was my first 2 years. And then when I became assistant barge engineer, I was transferred to Brazil, and I spent 3 years in Brazil. And when I became a barge engineer at that time, like captain, I was sent to Alaska, where I spent 1.5 years. And there was an opportunity to become a pilot in Houston that opened up, and they asked me if I'd like to take that opportunity, and I said, of course. So especially being in weather 65 below zero. So anyway, that's how I became a pilot, and the doors opened up for me that way. Went to Kings Point, and was 7 African Americans in my class. I was, out of the 7, I was the only one that came out in my original class, and had 2 guys that graduated with me from the class before. So it was just 3 of us that graduated, and it's like you have to want to be there, because if you're here for anything, other than like a lot of guys are there like for their parents. Their parents want them to be here. You can't do that. You have to be here for yourself. You got to want to be here. And you can do it. If I did it, you can do it. You really can. No.